Okay, Doom Scribblers, so for the people who are not in the rooms with us, a lot of this is going to be very context driven, so it might not make sense to you, so skip on to whatever the next one is going to be about. So we are sending books to Micah, and he is liking what he's seeing, and we are getting notes back from him. You're getting notes as a professional now. So you might in the past have had a line editor who goes through your document and catches every single instance of something that they do or don't want you to do. If it's a proofreader, they'll get absolutely every error. Decide what your style guide is and stick with your style guide. But at the level that we are doing this, that is not what you're getting from Micah. What you're getting from him is an instance of something that he wants to see or not see on the page, and it's then your job as a professional to go into the manuscript and catch every single other instance. And because we've got 3 writers, each of them writing a POV, he might make a note on one person's chapter to say, I want you to change this. But that means all of you have to look at what that is, work out what the underlying principle is, the reason that you're doing this, and then make changes throughout the whole document. So I have tried to catch all the instances of us being out of the right. I've had no sleep, truly. When I say I've had no sleep, usually I've had 4 hours of sleep, and then other times I've really had none at all. So we're writing in close third. We're writing in the past tense. But because it's in close third, it feels almost like first. So there are times when particularly time-driven words like now turn up in exposition. But now means that we're in the present tense, not the past tense. So you have to look at your verbs and make sure you're in the right tense, speaking from the narrator, looking at the past. So look for all of your time-driven words. Also look for this. I'm going to use an example that was in one of the manuscripts that he's reviewed. Temperatures were in the 80s. It was always bad in Texas, but this heat was ridiculous. So this is a present tense word. It would have to be the heat or that heat was ridiculous. So you need to go and do a search for those. He is not liking the pronoun-heavy chapters that we're writing. So we've been trying to pull into very, very strict close third where the POV character doesn't talk about themselves by using their own name unless we need it for clarity, unless we've got a change between which character is doing something and it's going to, they're both females or they're both males, and it's going to be difficult if we just switch by using a pronoun and we use the name of the main POV character, but Micah's not liking that. So I have still not worked out how to codify when to use the main POV character's name, and when to use a pronoun in close third. So I'll keep working on it. We're going to have to feel our way through this. I know for some people that will be very uncomfortable because they much rather have a rule than to go and balance it out. I'm trying to balance it out as I edit it, but you'll see that he's gone through and he's marked up pronouns. So go and have a look and see if you can make sense of how to balance that back out again. What else am I seeing? I've got a list for myself, of course. So from my own edits. When I was editing both of the books that now have gone to Micah, there were 2 things that I saw. In one book, we had a character who was very badly injured in the first chapter, badly enough that their clothes were sticking to them with burns and had to get peeled off with tweezers and dressed. And then they never hurt themselves again. That was never a problem for them. They had a shower at one point. And so I layered that into those chapters because we're moving much, much faster than we would if we were writing in trad, because that would have come back to you in trad. And the other one was a character who was woke up drunk and has a drinking problem, goes binge drinking on the weekends, and then goes dry and isn't thinking about it. And maybe they're a functional alcoholic, but they would absolutely be thinking about alcohol even if they were trying to stay dry. In the program, they'd be a dry drunk. So you need to keep your injuries and your predilections in play. When you're going through and doing your edit, make sure you haven't set something up and then lost track of it. Injuries are particularly important. You'll see that note from me. So, goes to me. I do what I do to get it ready to go to Micah. Things still slip through. They always slip through. Comes back. His word is absolute law. So when you get a manuscript back from Micah, you have to go and read every single note that he has left in that manuscript, and you need to apply it to your chapters. You need to take responsibility to understand what the underlying principle is, and then go and apply that to your chapters. So my recommendation is that we do another run like we did last time, where you each take your chapters and you edit them with track changes on. Then you send it back to your team captain, who interleaves them. Then it comes back to me. Keep track changes on. Then I will go through it again, and then we'll decide whether or not it's going to Micah or it's going to the beta readers. And that's a decision that Micah will make. All right, so this is very short. This basically is take every word he says. He knows the market. He knows what our readers love. He knows the voice that we're aiming for. Take that very, very seriously and act like a pro. You're doing great, by the way. The books are really, really something else. I am stupendously proud of you. I had a call with one of the groups today, and I said, I'm so proud of the work you've done. And all of their faces, I can see them on Zoom, and all of their faces just went, And I said, I can hear your misbelief clicking away, even as you say nothing, because you say nothing, because we can read between the lines, right? And you think I'm lying, but the thing about me is I never lie. And you might not believe that. You might think, yeah, she's full of horse pucky. Not only do I never lie, but I have a vested interest in making this work. Micah is my boss, and I am probably the last person in the world who can sell a thing. What I can do is I can tell stories. It really behooves me to have you write the best books you possibly can, because they're going to my boss. So you might think I'm bullshitting you, but actually I'm not, because one, I tell the truth, and two, self-interest is in play. If you get a note from Micah and you don't understand it, definitely come and ask me. Once we've got that edit through, go and study the edit that I did for you. I worked really hard on your books. I made some fairly significant changes. I want you to read and understand the changes that I made. If you don't, I want you to come back to me with questions. All right, my Doom Scribblers, you're working hard, you're kicking butt, you're taking names. I'm very proud of you. Toodaloo.